Alizé Cornet is a French professional tennis player. Cornet has won 5 singles and 3 doubles titles on the WTA Tour in her career, as well as 3 singles and 3 doubles titles on the ITF Tour in her career. On the 16th of February 2009, she reached her best singles ranking of world number 11. On the 7th of March 2011, she peaked at world number 59 in the doubles rankings. During the 2014 season, Cornet became known for defeating world number 1 and 20-time Grand Slam singles champion Serena Williams on 3 occasions. At the Dubai Tennis Championships, she recorded a straight sets win over Williams in the semi-finals, which resulted in Cornet's accession to the Dubai final for the very first time. In July, she came from a set down to beat the American in what was also her best Wimbledon result to date. She recorded victory once more at the inaugural Wuhan Open, moving past Williams. Cornet also has an extensive juniors record, having won the girls' singles title at the 2007 French Open. Like several other tennis professionals, Cornet's playing style includes grunting. Career. She made her Grand Slam debut at the French Open in 2005 and made it to the second round, where she lost to Amélie Mauresmo. In 2006, she reached the second round again by beating Virginia Ruino Pascual of Spain in the first round. She could not repeat this performance in 2007, as she lost in the first round to Venus Williams. Cornet was defeated in the Wimbledon 2007 qualifying event by Olga Gavautsova, but made it to the main draw as a lucky loser when Lina withdrew. Cornet reached the second round before being defeated by the experienced Ai Sugiyama in 3 sets. Also in 2007, she won a $50,000 ITF tournament in Dnipropetrovsk, beating Stephanie Vogeli in the final. In the 2007 US Open, Cornet lost to Jelena Jankovic in the third round. Cornet reached the second round of the Australian Open, where she lost to 9th seed Daniela Hantuchova. Over the following months, Cornet experienced a great level of success on the main tour, particularly on clay, reaching the final in Acapulco in the semi-finals in Amelia Island and Charleston. Cornet entered the 2008 Rome Masters and beat Vera Dushevina in the first round, Francesca Schiavone in the second, world number 3 Svetlana Kuznetsova in the third, and then received a walkover from an injured Serena Williams to get into the semi-finals. Here she defeated Anna Chakvetadze to reach her first Tier 1 final. However, here she lost to Jelena Jankovic in 2 sets. Due to her great run at Rome, she rose to number 20 in the world and was seeded 19th for her home slam, the French Open. She defeated Julia Vakulenko in the first round after a stylish display. She then beat clay specialist Gisela Dulko in the second round, but lost to 14th seed Agnieszka Radwanska in the third round. She suffered a poor grass season, making first-round exits at Eastbourne and at Wimbledon, to Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. She won her first WTA title at Budapest. Cornet was seeded second and received a bye into the second round. Here she defeated Magdalena Rybarikova, and followed it up with a straight sets win over Annalena Gronefeld in the quarters. In the semi-final she defeated Giaia Kutiayan to make her third final of the year, which she won in 2 sets against Andreyu Klepak. She capped it off by winning the doubles with Janette Husarova at the same tournament. At Austria, she was seeded second. However, whilst 6-2, 2-1 up, she suffered an injury and retired when trailing 3-2 in the final set. She then competed at the 2008 Beijing Olympics, seeded 15th. She defeated Nicole Vidisova in the first round, Peng Shuai in the second, before falling to Serena Williams in 3 sets. In New Haven, she was seeded 7th and again beat Nicole Vidisova in the first round 6-3, 7-6. Cornet followed it up by beating Katerina Srebotnik, and a win over second-seeded Daniela Hentukova in the quarterfinal. However, she lost in the semis to eventual champion Caroline Wozniacki. At the US Open, she was seeded 16th, and reached the third round with a win over Camille Pin 7-5, 6-0, and Bethany Mattek-Sands 7-6, 6-1, however losing 4-6, 5-7 to Annalena Gronefeld in the third. Cornet played at the Hopman Cup, and placed third in her group, partnering Giles Simon. She defeated Su Weixie of Chinese Taipei and Italian Flavia Pennetta. She then lost to Russia's Dinara Safina 6-3, 6-2. Cornet began the season at the Majibank International, where she defeated 7th seed Nadia Petrova and Eliza Klebanova before losing to 2nd seed and eventual finalist Dinara Safina in the quarterfinals 6-3, 6-4. Cornet entered the Australian Open as the 15th seed, easily winning her 2 matches. In the third round, she dropped a set against Daniela Hentukova, but advanced regardless. In the fourth round, she held 2 match points against Dinara Safina, but was eventually ousted in 3 sets. This was her third loss to the Russian already that year. Cornet then took part in the Open GDF Suez in Paris. Seeded 5th, she defeated Latvian qualifier Anastasia Jasevastova in the first round and went on to again defeat Hentukova in 3 tight sets in the second round. She was then defeated by the number 2 seed Jelena Jankovic in the quarterfinal. Despite having an impressive first month of the year, Cornet's results began to slide. She lost her 2 matches to Francesca Schiavone and Flavia Pennetta in the Fed Cup, playing for France. Her best result in her next 7 tournaments were third-round showings in Dubai and Miami. She would lose another 2 matches in the Fed Cup playoffs to Daniela Hentukova and Dominika Cibulkova. Cornet fell in the early rounds in both the French Open and Wimbledon, continuing a dismal 2009 tennis season. Cornet was then defeated in the early rounds in Budapest and Palermo. After months of early losses, Cornet had a promising showing in Bad Gastein, advancing to the semi-finals before losing to Iona Raluca Olaru, a match in which Cornet had a 5-4 lead and serve for closing the match in the second set. Cornet began her year at the ASB Classic in Auckland, New Zealand, losing to Francesca Schiavone in the quarterfinals. She then suffered an early loss to Alona Bondarenko in Hobart. At the Australian Open, she again lost to Schiavone in the opening round. Over the next 2 months, poor results continued for the Frenchwoman. During this period, her most notable tournament was in Monterrey, Mexico, where she reached the quarterfinals. During the European clay court season, Cornet, as a qualifier in the Barcelona Ladies Open in Spain, lost to Taime Baksinski in the first round. Cornet reached her first semi-final of the season in Fez, Morocco, losing to Iveta Benisova. She had previously not dropped a set in her previous 3 matches at the tournament. At the Estoril Open in Portugal, home favourite Michelle Larche de Brito beat Cornet in the first round. As a qualifier in the Madrid Open, she lost again to Schiavone for the 4th time that year. Cornet won her first tournament of the year in doubles at the International de Strasbourg, playing doubles with Vania King. Cornet would lose to King in singles. At Roland Garros, 29th seed Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova defeated her in the first round 6-4, 6-2. Soon after, Cornet posted her worst result of the year at an ITF event in Marseille, France, losing to 412th-ranked Caroline Garcia in 3 sets. At Wimbledon, she lost in the first round to Iona Raluca Olaru. She then played in clay in the 2010 GDF Suez Grand Prix, upsetting Taimé Baksinski before losing to eventual champion Agnes Servet in the quarters, 6-3, 6-1. At the 2010 ECM Prague Open, she fell to Patti Schneider in the second round. Cornet reached her second semi-final of the year in Bad Gastein with a win over top seed and defending champion Andrea Petkovic 6-2, 7-5, where she lost to Julia Gorges. At the US Open, she fell in the first round to 31st-seeded Estonian Kaia Kanepi in 3 sets. It was a bad year for Alizé as she lost in the opening round at all 4 Grand Slam. Cornet's first tournament was the ASB Classic in Auckland, New Zealand. She defeated Sandra Zalov over 3-6, 7-5, 6-0 in the first round, before being swept aside by German Julia Gorges 6-2, 6-4. Next, she headed to Melbourne for the Australian Open. She defeated Coco van der Ven and 26th seed Maria José Martinez Sanchez in straight sets en route to the third round, where she was defeated by eventual champion Kim Clijsters 7-6, 6-3. Cornet then headed to Moscow for the quarterfinals of the Fed Cup against Russia. She defeated 2-time Grand Slam champion Svetlana Kuznetsova 3-6, 6-3, 6-4 for her biggest win in nearly a year and one of the biggest of her career. However, she lost her second singles match to Anastasia Pavlyuchenko over 3-6, 6-3, 6-2. In doubles, partnering Julie Coyne, she lost to Pavlyuchenkova and Kuznetsova in straight sets. The Open GDF Suez in Paris was Cornet's next destination. Is the home favorite. Her fans were greatly upset when she was sent crashing out to Sofia Arvidsson in the first round. Her bad run continued when she lost in the second round of the Monterrey Open to Anastasia Jasevastova, but then, her form improved when she headed to Indian Wells for the BNP Paribas Open. In the first round of qualifications, she defeated Chinese Han Xinyan, followed by another win over Vesna Dolence. In the first round of the main draw, she had a decisive 2-sets victory over former top 10 player Patti Schneider, and backed it up by winning a tough match against 2010 Wimbledon semi-finalist Svetlana Pironkova in 3 sets, to advance to the third round, where she was sent crashing out of the tournament by 5th seed Francesca Schiavone in 2 sets. At the Sony Ericsson Open, she fell in the first round to countrywoman Virginie Razzano. After this, she played the Family Circle Cup, but again suffered an early elimination in the first round to Sofia Arvidsson for the second time that year. Seeded 8th at the Grand Prix Sala Princesi Lala Meryem, Cornet was beaten by former world number 1 Dinara Safina in the second round. Cornet's disastrous run continued when she lost in the first qualifying rounds of the Mutua Madrid Open and the Internazionale BNL d'Italia. She then defeated Sanya Mirza in the first round of the Internazionale de Strasbourg, before falling to Nadia Petrova in 3 sets in the second. At Roland Garros, she defeated Renata Vereshova in the first round but was then crushed by qualifier Nuria Klagastera Vives in the second. Cornet began her grass court season at the Aegon Classic in Birmingham, losing in the first round to 16th seed Alekudryevzeva. After this, she lost in the first round of qualifications at the Aegon International to home favourite Anne Keothavong. Following these losses, she headed to London for the Wimbledon Championships, losing in the first round to Katarina Bondarenko 7-5, 6-2. Cornet then reached the quarter-finals of an ITF event in Italy, losing to Stephanie Vogeli. Cornet then lost in the first rounds of the Swedish Open and the Gastein Ladies to Caroline Wozniacki and Ksenia Pavak. She then headed to Cincinnati for the Western and Southern Financial Group Women's Open, losing in the first round of qualifying to Sophia Arvidsson. At the Texas Tennis Open, Cornet was defeated by Julia Gorges in the first round. Then she proceeded to the US Open, the final Grand Slam of the year, where she saw better results than at Roland Garros and Wimbledon, by getting to the second round, where she lost to Roberta Vinci. Cornet then played 2 ITF events, reaching the second round of one and the quarterfinals of the other. She then qualified for the Kremlin Cup but lost in the first round to Svetlana Kuznetsova. Her final tournaments of the year were 2 ITF events in France, of which she reached one first round and one semi-final. Cornet began her 2012 season at the ASB Classic, losing in the first round of qualifications to wildcard Claire Feuerstein. Her next tournament was the Apia International Sydney, where she was eliminated in the final round of qualifying by Chanel Scheepers in straight sets. She also suffered an early first-round loss at the Australian Open to Monica Niculescu. Cornet also played one Fed Cup singles match against Slovakia, losing to former world No. 5 Daniela Hentukova in straight sets. Cornet was then awarded a wild card for the Open GDF Suez in Paris. Being the home favorite, her fans were greatly disappointed when she was knocked out of the tournament in the first round by eventual semi-finalist Klara Zakopalova, 3-6, 1-6. Then, at the Monterrey Open, Cornet won her third match of the year against Tatiana Luzanska, 6-4, 7-6 in the first round, but was defeated by second seed Sara Irani, 2-6, 3-6, in the second. She then fell in the first round of the Abierto Mexicano Telcel to Alberta Brianti in 3 sets. Cornet's poor run continued when she fell during the qualifications of the BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells. She then reached the final of the 100K ITF the Bahamas Women's Open, where she lost to Alexandra Wozniak. After this, she headed to Miami for the Sony Ericsson Open, for which she qualified, but she went out in the first round to Shahar Peer. Cornet reached the second round at Stuttgart after defeating Anna Chakvetadze before losing to Maria Sharapova. Cornet then reached the final at the 2012 International de Strasbourg, where she lost to Francesca Schiavone. At the French Open, Cornet lost to Zhang Ji in the first round. Cornet then won the Bad Gastein tournament, her second singles title, defeating Janina Wickmeyer in the final. At Wimbledon, Cornet lost in the second round to eventual quarterfinalist Tamira Pashik. At the Olympics, Cornet defeated Pashik in the first round before losing to Daniela Hentukova. At the 2012 US Open, Cornet defeated wildcard Nicole Gibbs in the first round. In the following round, she lost to fifth seed Petra Kvitova. She reached the quarterfinals at Guangzhou, losing to Sorana Ciercia in straight sets. Cornet then entered the Kremlin Cup, defeating Anastasia Rodionova in the first round, only to be beaten by Samantha Stosa in the second round. 2013 Cornet kicked off the 2013 season by playing in the Brisbane International Singles Tournament. She defeated Australian qualifier Bojana Bobusek in the first round by a score of 2-6, 6-3, 6-1. She drew world No. 3 Serena Williams in the second round, and was defeated in 2 sets. The next week, Cornet played in the Morilla Hobart International, but was beaten in the first round by Chanel Sheepers. In the first round of the Australian Open, Cornet defeated Marina Arakovic of New Zealand in a marathon match lasting 3 hours and 28 minutes. Cornet drew American Venus Williams in the second round, to whom she lost. Cornet also played in the doubles tournament, partnering with German player Mona Barthel. They were, however, defeated in the first round by Alexandra Panova and Galina Voskobova. Following the Australian Open, Cornet's WTA ranking climbed 6 places to No. 35. Her next tournament was the Open GDF Suez in Paris, France. Cornet drew the Swedish No. 1 Sofia Arvidsson in the first round, and defeated her in 3 sets. However, Cornet lost in the second round to Lucy Safarova. Cornet did not fare well in doubles either, as she and her partner Kristina Mladenovic were defeated in the first round by 2013 Australian Open doubles champions Sara Errani and Roberta Vinci. Cornet kicked off her clay court season at the Copa Colsonitas tournament in Colombia, where she was defeated in the second round. Cornet improved upon this performance in her next tournament, the Abierto Mexicano Telcel, reaching the semi-finals before being defeated by eventual champion Sara Errani. Next, she won the International de Strasbourg, defeating Lucy Radecka in the final. She entered the 2013 French Open playing some of her best tennis of the year, and advanced to the third round before being defeated by third-seeded Victoria Azarenka. On the 24th of June, she achieved a season-high ranking of No. 31. At Wimbledon, Cornet advanced to the third round, a personal best for the tournament, but suffered a disappointing defeat by Flavia Pennetta thereafter, winning the first set 6-0 and having match point in the second. During the US Open Series, Cornet reached the semi-finals at the 2013 City Open, where she lost to Andrea Petkovic. Then, she recorded 2 consecutive third-round appearances at Toronto and 2013 Western and AMP Southern Open, where she lost to Sara Errani and Magdalena Rybarikova respectively. At the final Grand Slam event of 2013, the US Open, Cornet was seeded 26th and reached the third, losing to Victoria Azarenka in 3 sets. In September, Cornet played in Guangzhou as the second seed. She lost to Yvonne Moisberger in quarterfinals. She then suffered 2 first-round defeats at Tokyo and Beijing in the hands of Samantha Stosur and veteran Francesca Schiavone respectively. At the 2013 Kremlin Cup, Cornet defeated Elina Svitolina in round 1 before succumbing to Stosur again. Cornet's final tournament of 2013 was the 2013 Garanti Cosa WTA Tournament of Champions held in Sofia. She qualified for the first time as a result of winning the title in Strasbourg earlier and was the 7th seed. However, she lost in round-robin stage, managing just 1 win over Maria Kirilenko via retirement. Her other 2 losses came in the hands of Simona Halep and Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. Cornet ended the year at number 27, her highest since 2008. Cornet started the year ranked 26th. She teamed with Jo-Wilfried Tsonga to win the Hopman Cup for Team France. She lost to Maria Sharapova in the third round at the Australian Open. At the Dubai Duty Free Championships, in what was the 4th match between them, Alizé defeated world No. 1 Serena Williams for the first time to reach the finals. However, also in a 4th match against the American, she lost in straight sets to world No. 44 Venus Williams in the final. After Dubai, Cornet moved 3 places up the rankings, to No. 23. She defeated Camila Giorgi in April to win the BNP Paribas Katowice Open in Poland, her fourth career title. She defeated Agnieszka Radwanska, the top seed, en route to the final. Cornet then competed at the Mutua Madrid Open, where she faced Svetlana Kuznetsova in the first round but lost in 3 sets. She defeated Kirsten Flipkens in the first round at the Internazionale BNL d'Italia but lost to Anna Ivanovic in the second round. Cornet was the defending champion at the 2014 International de Strasbourg but lost to Camila Giorgi in a tight 3-setter in the first round. At the second Grand Slam of the year, the 2014 French Open, Cornet was seeded 20th, her highest seeding in more than 4 years. She defeated wildcard Ashley Barty easily in round 1. She then faced American wildcard Taylor Townsend but lost in 3 roller-coaster sets. Cornet dropped to the World No. 24 after the French Open. Alizé kicked off her grass-court season by defeating Serbia's Bojana Jovanović in the first round at the Aegon International in Eastbourne. She then faced 5th-seeded Angelique Kerber but lost in 3 sets after winning the second set 6-1. Cornet was seeded 25th at Wimbledon and defeated WTA rising star Anna Schmidlova 4-6, 6-4, 6-2 in the first round. In the second round, she defeated Czech Petra Setkovska. In the third round, she faced Serena Williams and defeated her for the second time in a row. She played in the second week of a Grand Slam for the first time in 5 years, her first at Wimbledon. Alizé lost to 13th seed Eugenie Bouchard in the fourth round. Cornet was the top seed at the 2014 Swedish Open but suffered a shocking defeat to Estonian Anett Kontaveit in the first round. Her clay season saw her accumulating just 2 wins and 5 losses. Cornet then participated in Washington, D.C. where she was seeded 3rd. She once again suffered an opening round exit to rising American Shelby Rogers. At the 2014 Rogers Cup, Alizé defeated American Lauren Davis in the first round. In the second round, she faced the 8th seed Victoria Azarenka and lost in 3 sets. The following week at Cincinnati, Cornet lost to young American Madison Keys in the first round. She was the 22nd seed at the U.S. Open and defeated fellow countrywoman Amandine Hess and Slovak Daniela Hentukova in her first 2 matches before succumbing to Lucy Safarova. In September, Cornet traveled to Guangzhou for the 2014 Guangzhou International Women's Open. She was seeded 2nd and was the sole seed to advance past the first round. Cornet reached the final after defeating the likes of Yulia Putintseva, a former champion Shahapar, Shiesu Wei and Taimei Baksinski before falling to Romanian Monica Niculescu in straight sets. Cornet competed in the Wuhan. She defeated Romina Oprandi in round 1 before recording her 3rd straight over Serena Williams, this time via retirement. Cornet became the first player since Justine Henin in 2007 to defeat Serena 3 times in a season. She then booked her place in the quarterfinals with a 3-set win over Kirsten Flipkens. It was Cornet's first quarterfinal at a Premier 5 event. She then lost in the quarterfinal round to Eugenie Bouchard, the tournament's eventual runner-up. Cornet started her 2015 year by playing at the 2015 Hopman Cup in Perth, Australia. She beat Heather Watson 6-2, 6-2, Casey Delacroix 4-6, 7-5, 6-1, and Agnieszka Radwanska 6-4, 2-6, 7-5. France failed to defend the Hopman Cup title. Cornet reached the QFs in Hong Kong in October, where she lost 1-6, 1-6 to Venus Williams, worsening her record against the American to 0-5. 2016, fifth WTA title. In January of this year, Alizé made the second round of the Brisbane International before falling to Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. She next played in the Hobart International, which she won by defeating Eugenie Bouchard in the final with a score of 6-1, 6-2. She next played in the Australian Open, where she made the second round with a win over Bojana Jovanovski, but was then beaten by Shuai Zhang. Apparel and equipment. Cornet wears Lacoste clothing, and uses Barbola rackets and shoes. WTA Career Finals. Singles, 10 doubles, 5-team competition, 1 singles performance timeline. Doubles performance timeline. This table is current through the 2016 Wimbledon Championships. Wins over top 10 players.